my divine siblings. Thank you for joining me and giving me lots of feedback from some of my videos, particularly the one that talks about empaths and illnesses that are common to empaths. The responses that I got were filling me with the need to make videos addressing that, but I have not, or had not, felt like I had the answers. But then I started to realize that, oh yeah, I do have a lot of answers. I just don't have all of them all at once. I have overcome many health issues myself as a light worker, as an empath, and I'm still that's my alarm to remind me actually to come back to myself. That's pretty synchronistic, because that's what this is about. And honestly, that's also the illnesses, conditions, everything in my life or in anyone's life is there as guidance, only to bring us back to ourselves. I have at times counted, like I said, I think in previous videos, around 13 conditions that I had or had manifested and that pop up at any given time. But it has prompted me to research healing in the naturopathic, homeopathic realms, and the energetic realms. I've pursued attunement in Usui Reiki, now in Gandai Reiki, and yoga. I became a yoga instructor, partly because that's where one form of the one remedy came from that inspired me to become a yoga instructor. I think I don't know if I mentioned, but it was around early 2000s, and also in 2011, after I got my yoga certification, I found myself unable to walk, and it was a serious concern because I was going to school. One of the times I was going to school, and they didn't have regular disability services up there in North Carolina. And I was concerned that I wouldn't be able to eat or go to class because I couldn't walk very far without extreme pain, and it would just not be possible. My leg would actually lock up after a certain point, and I would be in excruciating pain. I couldn't go in the early 2000s. I couldn't even go up the stairs. So, I mean, I've talked about videos about this. I think I have one video on prolotherapy, which is a wonderful therapy that stimulates your body's own immune system to regrow strong tendons and ligaments. I've learned so much about healing, like many shamans do when they're very young, when they don't know they're shamans yet or healers yet. What happens is you will start out with a near-death experience or be suicidal and want to die from emotional pain, or have some kind of other mental illness like bipolar, addictions. I'm an addiction specialist also, so I have a whole different view on that, more like Gabor Mate. He's ventured into psychotropics in order to heal, to search the inner world. So I've searched that also, and so I've searched many things: vitamin therapy, colonics, just, and it's been, and everything has helped to heal certain things. I would be healed over here, digestion would be healed, and this would pop up, the leg would pop up, or the back issue would pop up, but the emotional stuff wasn't, like it's been spotty, just like, it's like getting, what is the pop-up game, where at the fair, where the thing pops up and you smash it and then another thing comes up. So I draw upon many philosophies also, and that's in my book. I wrote a book and it includes those philosophies, but I draw upon A Course in Miracles and the laws of attraction. Oh, go figure. Plus, with when I'm a master's of social work, I drew upon that, therapeutic models, and I guess what I'm here to say, basically, and I'm going to do more videos on this, but this is something to look into, is that remedies, if it's physical, it can heal you. It can give you the permission slip, as Bashar would say. It can give you the permission slip to let yourself be healed from that condition. But it's buying you time to do the inner work. So, it's kind of like a doctor giving you a pain reliever for a condition, while you're going to physical therapy and going, you've got to get the root of this straightened out. I can give you a painkiller for a little bit, but that's not going to be forever. And it's the same with any remedy, is that it can be a pain reliever, and seem to cure a condition, but there's something under it that's trying to give you a message. And yes, it's okay. Louise Hay, her book, Heal Your Life. I think that was part of the title. She talks about the body being subconscious, a messenger, and that's what I'm saying. And my experience is as I cured things, actually, things kind of manifested from my limbs, the outward, and moved actually deeper. Kind of like when you suppress a symptom, it will go deeper into the body, and that is a principle of homeopathy. So it must be healed at the core, and we're not talking the core of the body, we're talking the core of the soul. And what that means is that I'm using, it's going to be different for everybody, but it's telling you something. It's guidance. Everything is guidance. And for me, for instance, the pain, the conditions have signaled different things. One of the main things for me is that I haven't feared a lot of things. I do have fear, like, have had fear, like everybody's experienced this. Don't tell me you haven't. But like fear of surviving. What am I going to do? What are people going to think? A lot of that, I may not have as much of a problem. In ways I do, in ways I don't. Everybody's different. We're all different. Like I can get out there and dance and perform in front of people and not be afraid, whereas it would terrify other people. But I don't want to hurt people's feelings, or I don't want to. For me, it's something I grew up with. Was I don't want to be noticed, like when I'm in a restaurant, as making a scene. I don't want to be seen as noticed very much. It's kind of a weird thing. You'd think as a performer, I was a ham that I want to be noticed, but no, that's not the case. I'm not there for somebody's approval. But when I'm in a restaurant, it's a different story. Because I don't want to distract. I don't want to be disturbing anybody, right? I don't want to be that bad person in the restaurant, that's making a scene or something. I'm really bad. But, so I have my things, but what, some of my areas that I recently uncovered was guilt, and it can be very subtle. I realized, the guilt gets projected onto the body. I have guilt about certain things in my life. I'm not going to necessarily share that right now, because, maybe I'm still working through it. Maybe I'll talk about it when it's resolved, when I find the answer. So, but I realize that I have guilt about not fitting in to the rest of society and being able to, hold a job in the way other people do. I can't do that anymore. I went and got a master's degree. I'm a licensed addiction specialist, but I can't make myself go work in a corporate setting. It's not going to happen. In the traditional form, like in the way I've got it pictured in my mind. So there's different things that I have guilt about, following my own heart. Even that's huge. It's huge. Like who of us can really do that? How many? Not many. So if you're a light worker or an empath and your heart is speaking so loudly that it's not allowing you to be in a culture and in a way that most everybody else fits, there can be a lot of guilt there. And so that's another point, like your higher self, you're expanding your higher self, who is part of you. And this higher self is, as it becomes the higher version of you, and keeps expanding because it keeps evolving. It's an evolving creature, and you're a part of it. And if you're not staying close to that vision of yourself and keeping up with it and allowing that vision of yourself to evolve and maturing with it, essentially, and let's say that gap increases, the higher self is evolving from all of your experience here of what you don't want, so it figures out what you do want, and if you ask for something, even on a subconscious level, if you're a higher evolved being, if you're higher evolved and you've been meditating, you've been studying, guess what? That higher self is evolving. If you're an empath, it's evolving. It's evolving. And if you're not, and if most people are down here at this society, and you're here, but your higher self is here, and basically, the gap between you and your higher self, the greater that is, the more pain and suffering you're going to feel, because it's holding its place. It's not going to come back for you. You've got to evolve to it. And you've got to keep evolving. Keep letting go of the fears. Keep letting go. Keep expanding. And that is what these things, like, if I'm not keeping up, then I start feeling more depressed or sad or bored and if, as that distance increases, now I can get the temporary band-aids and fix-its, and I can get rid of the pain for a little bit, so I can concentrate enough to meditate, to get the courage, to get the insight, to get, to find the inspiration, so that I can be keeping up with my higher power that I have helped set in motion to evolve. I hope I'm making sense here. That you have a higher self, that you evolve it, because you're here in the third dimension where there's choice, there's free will. That's why we're here. And so you got to keep up. No pressure. It's a beautiful thing to keep up. Really, your will and its will is the same. The problem is when we keep listening to everybody else and trying to be like everybody else. And find out, like, we're not. And we're not happy when we look like everybody else, and when we act like everybody else, and when we do what other people advise us to do, and what we should do. And this job would be good for you, and this marketing would be good for you. Oh, you don't want a job? Well, you should go just to a yoga studio, and you do this, and then it'll be okay. And then, you could get lots of students. Well, guess what? I know I could get a lot of students for this and this and this. I have all kinds of certifications. But is that what my heart is telling me to do? And anytime I have done those things out of people's advice, it didn't turn out. People didn't show up anyway. And you know what? I was glad they didn't. Because I didn't want to do it anyway. Because I wasn't listening to my own heart. And I still am doing this video as part of listening to my own heart. When I've done the videos before, I enjoy doing them. And then, if you guys have seen my other videos, that was a lifetime ago, pretty much. 3 years ago. It was a lifetime. And I love doing it. So, I've evolved to a whole nother place. How I started walking again? Well, honestly, I started following my bliss. And not only can I walk, I can dance my ass off. And people wonder how I do it. So yes, I have come far. But I know there's so much more to do. And this is part of it. I love reaching out to you all, and I appreciate your comments so much. I'm going to get a little emotional. So I read your comments, and they touch my heart, and I relate so much to them, because this is a big business, and when you reach this level of being, you actually manifest things in your body. We're not playing anymore. You play with a job, you play with this. Oh, this situation isn't right. But when it's your health, you're in the big boys game. So that's when we can really get serious. So there's no more playing. You got to start being yourself. Um, that's the only way to heal. That's the way I've been healing. The more I'm myself, and the more I try to follow my higher power and to be honest about what it's saying to me. To be honest with people can be hard, but it ain't worth your health. It's not worth your life. That's what I gotta say for now. Blessings, my divine siblings. I love you guys. Thank you for commenting, and thank you for subscribing. Okay, have a blessed day. To have a great life, start by having a great day. All right. See ya.